So, in some of my past videos, there's been a good amount of interference, and you've been hearing this static that's kind of a harmonic along with my voice. So I picked up another one of these Sennheiser Evolution Wireless G3 EW122 sets. So it comes with a transmitter and a receiver. I just wanted to. I got the original receiver for free. Somebody actually sent me a used one, and it was a really nice Sennheiser set, and I wanted to say thank you very much for that because it's made the last year and a half of doing videos so much easier. I really appreciate it. I wanted to keep doing videos, and I just don't have the time to troubleshoot which is which, so I figured I would just buy this thing, and we're going to see how it works with this video. I'm not going to turn the AC off. You are going to hear AC noise because if you saw what the weather was like in New York City, trying to do this stuff without an air conditioner is suicide. So you're going to still hear the noise of the AC, but at the very least, I'm hoping you don't hear all that ridiculous static. So, and there were some times where there was clicks and pops, and that was caused by computer issues, but this is very clearly my capsule not getting the power it needs or something like that. So with any luck, that is all set. Started. So today we've got an 820-3476 board, and it looks like it has been fucked with to hell and back. So the first thing that we have here, as you can see, is a JTAG connector, and it looks like the corrosion on the JTAG has already been cleaned by whoever was here before me. They beat me to it. We don't get it twisted. That JTAG is still going to get knocked off the board without mercy. We show no mercy for JTAGs here. That's never going to change. However, we are going to continue on and see what this board looks like. So if we were to turn this over, you'll see that in this area of the board, it looks like complete shit. And this is the area right under the CPU, and the PCH on this board is integrated into the CPU. You can also see there's an area here where it looks like a resistor, which is cold knocked off the board by somebody who didn't really like it very much. That's very mean. You can see that I'm not sure if there was once a chip here or not, but whether or not there was, you can see that there's a signal line over here. I don't know what this is for, or if it's going to anything, but that probe point is just gone. The U1950 area, which is famous for just getting destroyed on the 2013 through 15 airs and retinas for the PM PCH power OK signal here, seems to have a little bit of corrosion. However, the PP3V42 pin is still connected to the PP3V42 rail. You can see that there wasn't too much damage there, so I have some faith that that may be usable. So this is not total garbage. This is not total garbage, but it is pretty fucked up, and this sucks. I mean, let's just be honest. We don't get to see the original corrosion, and even if we did, it probably would be even more depressing than this. So the first thing that I would do is, before we even get into what is corroded, I'm more interested in what's missing, because what's corroded may still work, whereas what is missing is a guarantee to not work. So anytime you're working behind somebody else, you're always going to want to focus on what is missing first, and then what is corroded later. Because remember, you can always figure what's corroded may still work, but what is missing is just gone. So let's open up the schematic and the board view here. Fluoride. Alex Jones would be disappointed. So, what is that corroded resistor for? Well, one way to find out. What we're missing is this resistor over here, and if we look on the schematic and the board view, and we click, that is for PM Sleep SOL. That is going to be a pull-up where R1463 takes the 3.3 volt rail and creates PM Sleep SOL. R1463. Let's see, where are you? So you look important. You look very important. So the first thing I'm going to do is put that back on. Let's put that back on. So let's create some pads here, shall we? We need some pads. We need some pads. Hey, it looks like we may actually be missing something over here as well. Let's take a look at that and see if we are missing something over there. Okay, so there's an I2C line that's supposed to have a pull-up resistor, as you can see here. And it looks like this pull-up resistor is missing for this I2C line. So it looked like somebody decided to clean this board with some sandpaper and boxing gloves and just decided to rip a bunch of shit off. So before we even get to what's corroded, let's just reattach the things that should be there. Tomorrow is actually going to be the 3-year anniversary of me getting board views to go with the schematics. So that's going to be cool. And I will celebrate it probably by streaming board repair. Alright, so we're going to... Now, what I did is I scraped away. I had originally scraped away a little bit. Then I had used the Q-tip and alcohol to clean off the debris. I added flux, and now I'm creating new solder pads there. So you see what I did? Some nice new solder pads. And we are going to do something similar up here where I believe a resistor is missing. So we have flux, now some gentle back and forth scraping on each pad. And now we have a place that we can add a resistor. The cost for the GPU repair to the 2015 model is under $200. Might roll the dice and get it fixed. As long as you get the 6-month ability to file a PayPal claim. So make sure you pay with PayPal and make sure that you can file a claim within the 6 months. Because I'm telling you, again, I have a heart. I have a heart. I'm going to tell, that guy who's outside of warranty, I'm refunding him for his GPU because his piece of shit GPU that I got from that piece of shit AliExpress seller failed. But not everybody's me, There are people that are going to say you're a day out of warranty, suck a dick. There are lots of people that'll say you're a day out of warranty, suck a dick. So just be careful. Because that machine is a real piece of shit. I'm telling you. Very, very few repair people are going to be honest with you to the extent that I am. Because they want to retire earlier than I do. But I'll tell you, something's going to break a gun, or I know that it's a bad idea. I will be honest with you and not... and tell you, for fuck's sake, don't do it. Okay, what's this? Looks like we have a resistor over here. This resistor looks like it's been broken off. So let's go through that. And it looks like wherever that resistor was going is gone. Alright, so what is that? So... So that's a PP3V42 pulling up charger V-Freak. Alright, that's fine. We can grab PP3V42 from something else. Ain't no big deal. Remember, that's no good. That's no good because it needs PP3V42 on the top. So we have to find our nearest PP3V42 point and bring a wire there. Which is going to be up here by this little capacitor that we are going to make great again. Okay, that capacitor just needed a little TLC. Yeah, what a pretty looking capacitor. What a pretty little capacitor. All right. Oy. Let's turn this around so that it's easier. That resistor looks like shit. Let's see. I believe I took a resistor off of a donor board that was actually ripped. That's what this looks like here. Yeah, that's a broken resistor. That is as broken as it can get. Alright, let's try that again. Look at that kind of thing. I don't think this was a real technician. Or somebody that actually is employed doing this. I would find it difficult to buy that somebody was employed to do this. Alright, of course my perfectly ran jumper wire ran away because I used hot air. We're just going to put that back. Okay, so let's see if we've got any progress. So there are still a bunch of corroded resistors on that side, but since you've replaced the ones that were obviously destroyed, or just ripped off the board, I'm kind of curious if we will get a fan spin at this point. So I'm going to plug this in and see if there is fan spin. Spin, you bastards! Spin! Okay, that just sucks. Alright, so the fan does not spin. So now we're going to have to think. There's going to be some brain usage required here, which is one of my least favorite parts of board repair. My least favorite part of board repair is where I have to use my brains. Using brains sucks. So. Well, let's find the list of power rails. You're on page what, 60 something on the schematic? Yeah, 65. There we go. What happens if the fan is faulty? No, the fan's not faulty. So let's see if the fan's getting power. So the fan is going to get power at PP5VSO, which is going to be on this connector. Let's see, is the 5-volt rail present? We have nothing at the 5-volt SO rail. Alright, is PP bus G3 hot present? PP bus G3 hot, supposed to be 12.6 volts. The schematic says it's 8.6 because the engineer that did this schematic was high. 12.59. PP5VSO, just in case I had it unplugged there, is 0. We know this is there because I got a green light. PPVRTC G3 hot is going to be over here. Somewhere over here. Right? Yeah, this. Mm-hmm. Do you often run into donor parts that are faulty? No, very rarely. It's funny, I actually run into more chips that I purchased that are faulty than chips that come off of donors that are faulty, interestingly enough. Next is PP5VS5, which is going to be somewhere over here from my memory. Somewhere in my memory. I can't sing. PP5VS5 is present. It's really sad that I remember all the points in this board where all the rails are. Usually I pretend that I'm searching for them when I know where they are, just so that you guys know how I find them, but here I'm not even bothering doing that. Alright, PP5ES4 is not. And of course, PP5ES4 is not going to be present because PM Sleep S4L is missing. PM Sleep S4L is missing, most likely because of this garbage. Alright, so let's see. Our R2C signal's present. Hey, Panzer, how are you doing? Last time I saw you was your comment on the Eli video. I also have not seen you in chat for a long time. I got some flux on my gloves and on my mouse. I'm just going to clean that before I forget later. Was that a solder ball coming from under the coil? Which coil were you... Which coil? I must have missed something. Alright, we're going to take a look at these RTC signals over here. RTC reset, PCH intervermin, PCH intruder, system RTC reset. Since this is in the cluster where This is not corroded, but it was inside the cluster of corrosion. And they all seem to check out. Yep. Okay, so what's going on up here? What is going on up here? This is going to be the more interesting section for me. So what are you? You're corroded probe point. Oh, we almost forgot about this thing, but so what's that for? You see this? This is no good. Whatever this is over here, whatever that is over there. So before I even get to the corroded sets of resistors. Alright, so PP3V3 sus is supposed to show up on there. And then go someplace. 3.3. 3.3. And then there's this little gold thingy over here. So can we attach the little gold thingy that's not getting the 3.3, this, to this, which is 3.3? So perhaps PP3V3 sus is missing on the other side of the board because of the rip in the line. So see? PP3V3 sus is supposed to be over here. That's a power rail. PP3V3 sus. And then it goes to this probe point, and then it's supposed to go to these capacitors, or this capacitor over here. So I'm curious, do I actually get anything on that capacitor over there? Let's see. Where is that little capacitor? So PP3V3 sus is supposed to be here, and then it's going to travel up to here, and it is present there. Kind of curious what the, where does this supposed to go? Well, I'm going to try to do the impossible here. And I'm going to try to make this into a pad. This is going to be a nightmare. But what are you going to do? So I'm going to grab a little solder blow. Let's try to grab a tiny solder ball. And melt it onto that copper piece. Can I turn you into a probe point? Let's see if that worked. Ooh! Ah, look at that! Alright, that's my way of tinning. Let's see if I can get a smaller ball and... Miles is here, the SMC is bad now. Probably. He always jinxes it. He always jinxes it. That bastard. I don't want to slide into that little probe point. I want to scrape this without sliding into the probe point. It's very important that I don't get the probe point. Grab the solder ball. Do you even use the scope anymore? I use my microscope all the time. I'm using it right now. That did not melt the way that I wanted it to. Oscilloscope. Oh. I only bought that for teaching purposes, so that I could show pictures in the of what a buck converter looks like. I didn't buy it to actually fix laptops. There. Okay. What problems this had? The problem it had is it's dead. It's not entering an S4 state. Kind of curious if I could hot air my jumper in. Did you manage to get Streamlabs donations fixed? I think so. It hasn't given me a notification yet for donations that were from like 3 days ago. Before Streamlabs was doing this stupid crap where it was giving me notifications for like 3-day-old donations. But it seems like it's done with that bull. Like okay, can I hot air my jumper? Is this a good idea or a bad idea? I don't want to put pressure on that crappy little junk probe point on the board that's barely in there. Oh, come on, break off, you piece of shit. All right, jumper. I'm not touching that. Fuck that. I'm not a hero. I'm not trying to be a hero. All right. It's a 40 gauge wire. Next up is we ain't even close to done. Dude, what else is gone here? This one? Jesus Christ, there's so many little dots. How do you know which one's which? And they look different. The dots are laid out differently on the board view than they are here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure on a donor. So the dot that I'm most interested in, obviously, is this one. Because there's a clear break in here. Where does this shit go? Almost looks like this board is a different layout because this doesn't look as destroyed. So this is my donor. So I think that's just the probe point for whatever this is. Let's just double check and see if that's the case on my donor. My sister keeps telling me I should visit New York. Beyond what they tell you on tourist sites and such, is it really worth visiting? Not really, in my opinion. You're better off where you are. Alright, so that's just supposed to connect to this. So just in case that actually goes somewhere in the board, I'm just going to wire it there. Just in case. Just in case. You never know. Yeah, I mean, if you like Broadway shows, then come to New York. If you don't like Broadway shows, then why the hell are you going to waste your time here? What, you want to see Chase and Starbucks and Chase and Starbucks and Chase and Starbucks? Is that what you want to see? You can go somewhere else if you want to see Chase and Starbucks and 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 Chase and Starbucks, and you get the point. New York is really just a bunch of Chase and Starbucks. It's not as cool as people make it out to be. Alright, so from you to that. Just in case that's going somewhere, you never know. Alright, now with all these shitty resistors. Can you put a finger in there for scale? I guess. This is my pinky. Ready for my pinky? That's my pinky's tip. That's the tip of my pinky. This is the smallest blade on my X-Acto knife. This is the tip of a T5 screwdriver. That's the tip of a T5 screwdriver. This is my tweezers. My very tiny Hakko CHP3SA tweezers. This is my middle finger for giving the middle finger. Okay, so there you have your scale. Okay, so it looks like I am missing a resistor. So I'm just going to get the air up in my hot air station to place the resistor. Okay, now let's see if we have any difference in terms of the whole turning on thing before I go through every other corroded resistor. Okay, so I'm going to plug it in. Now that it's plugged in, we're going to look at our fan. The fan does not appear to spin. Fuck, sir. Are we getting the 5-volt SO rail? Of course we're not. Fuck. You solder with rosin core. I honestly don't remember off the top of my head. I got a link somewhere to the solder that I used, but I think it's rosin core. What if the fan is broken? Well, then that's what measuring 5 volts on it, the rail is for. Alright, so what else do we have here that's corroded? You have a cap for PP3V3 sauce. I don't care because that rail is showing up. Alright, so there's these corroded resistors in here. I'm really putting off going over those because it's just a pain in the ass to remove all that and move it back and forth from board to board. But that is what has to be done. Repeal and replace, baby. Like you. Bye. Repeal and replace with one of a better value. Now, since all these resistors look the same and they're in a very close space with no clear pattern, it's a pain in the ass to go between the donor and this to find them all. It's like, it hurts the brain. Okay, what was that resistor for? That was for some SM bus PCH data line. Alright, that's important. What else is nasty? You're kind of nasty. What do? You nasty, nasty resistor. PM sys reset L. Well, let's see if PM sys reset is... You can go, you corroded piece of shit. Okay, resistor gone. Does Apple tend to use cheap caps? I don't think so. We got this group up here. Jeez, there's so many of them. Let's just take them all off. I'm gonna regret this. So much shit to replace. Any more streams planned with Jason? Nobody here wants to be on camera because they wind up getting like creepy stuff. Like if someone sees them in the street, they smile at them and all that kind of weird shit. Nobody else here has the patience for that. I honestly don't have the patience for it either, but I kind of asked for it by making a channel, so I have to deal with it. But they didn't make a channel, so they don't want to deal with it. Alright. Paul Daniels is here. I'm very disappointed that Paul Daniels' software does not automatically check Apple's servers to get you a copy of the latest board view files. Very disappointed in that. This is right under the CPU PCH on a 3476, Paul, where every resistor was corroded. And we've also got some wires over here. So we've got a wire to this pull-up resistor. We had to replace a resistor over here that was ripped. And then you've got this little thing where there's holes in the random sections of the board, and I had to make solder balls and have the solder balls solder to the trace, to the via, and then hot air the wire into the solder ball. No one wants to be known as a local celebrity. Yeah, being a celebrity sucks. So, being rich is cool. But like just random people meeting you on the street, that's just fucking weird. It would be one thing if the random people meeting me on the street were like Bridget Regan, Ruby Lewis, Julia Udine, but it's not. It's not. So I don't. It's not fun. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Hey, this is a mess. Slide into place. You could charge for selfies. I usually just say no. There's no amount of money that makes it worth doing that shit anymore. It's just weird. $300 a selfie, let them show their dedication. That's a good idea. That's actually a real... That's not soldered down well, but you'll see when I solder the resistor next to it, the heat will melt that one. You'll see, this is all going to flow into place. I'm going to add some flux before the last one. Take my time with it. Mike says, that size of components is proof that God isn't real. I feel for you truly. Yeah. I think God may be real. He just likes watching micro-soldering people suffer. Alright, so I think we've made some progress here. Now we've got one other corroded one down here that I haven't replaced. That I think deserves replacement. I mean repealing first, and then replacement. And now I forgot which one I was even looking at. In the amount of time it took for me to get my iron, I forgot the one I'm looking at. And since you know what? I'm never gonna fucking find it or remember which one I was even looking at to touch up. We're just going to turn this shit around and see if we get a fan spin. And if we don't, I may just knock it in the ultrasonic cleaner and see if the cleaner fixes this board, because I certainly don't have the patience to spend any more time on it. Yep. F this. Is there a compatible connector for the A1270 with bumps underneath? All I can find are ones without the bumps. If only somebody you watched had a website where they sold such connectors. Bye, JTAG. Alright, so now we put it in the ultrasonic cleaner, which is going to make a lot of loud, angry noises at all of you. And before I toss it in the cleaner, actually, nah, too late. I was going to heat up the flux in the bottom. Okay, into the cleaner you go. Some nice, annoying, screaming, ultrasonic noises for you all. Alright, so do you think the fan is going to spin on this retina board now? What do you think? Or do you think it was too far destroyed from whoever ripped off a bunch of resistors? So firstly, let's just take a look at what our first retina board looks like after ultrasonic cleaning. I have faith in this. I really do. It just looks too sexy to not work. This just looks far too sexy to not work. So we have a fan over here. We have a beautiful fan. And we're going to plug the charger in and see if the beautiful fan spins. You piece of shit. That's just me with my finger. So do we have any change in anything? Let's see. We don't even get a quarter spin. That's some dust. That can get the fuck out. Alright, PP5VS4. 0. You're 0. So this is a waste. A cluster and a waste. Let's see, what's this little thingy over here? What are you? A little piece of dirt, dust, solder block. Interesting, now the charger light is going off. This board is a pile of shit. Oh no, we got the green light back. Now it's orange. And what the fuck? Seriously? Hello. Okay, so maybe it was a little solder ball that I left in there. Hey! Nitrocaster loses. Nitrocaster loses the bet. I want a rare Pepe, man. So, now we just have to see if we get image. Ha 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 ha. Nitrocaster loses. Time to be as immature about this as humanly possible. When Nitrocaster loses, I profit. Using ultrasonic to repair dead board is not fair. Oh, hell no. This is like when I used to play Street Fighter as a kid, and I would use M. Bison, and I would just keep sliding and knocking him down, and then just doing that laser thing where he just goes across the screen. People go, that's cheating, that's not fair. And my dad used to say, no, it's fair if it's in the game. There's no such thing. Cheating is cheating, but it's not cheating or unfair if it's in the game. And the ultrasonic cleaner is in the game of board repair. So it's totally, it is completely fair. I love it. So let's see if we get a picture. If we get a picture, I'll really get to rub it in Nitrocaster's face. How to kill ads. You realize that Twitch is hosting this for free, right? It's like, I'm not paying Twitch, and I'm pretty sure you're not paying Twitch. And they're hosting a 13.5 megabit per second stream for an hour and 45 minutes for free. You could give them, like, the 5 cents they get from the ad. Just saying. Let me just clean off the DC inboard so this works. This is kind of dirty. It's really dirty, actually. Panzerfin says, this is like modern exorcism to remove bad spirits. Putting dead GPU in the oven is not cheating as well in that case. No, that's cheating because there's you can't offer a warranty on that. This is warranty is in the game. All this stuff has to pass warranty. Also, Yelp is in the game. Have to be able to have some semblance of good reviews for my company. I ain't ever going to be a 5-star, but at the very least I could be a 4-star. Okay, what do we get? Show me a Apple logo, and it's booting. It's booting with an Apple logo, which means that this steaming pile is now fixed. And from that, I hope you learned something.